At that point, you know, people didn't really know that it was going to become what it became. Everybody had kind of thought it was just an accidental situation.
Bringing MMA to the Middle East, that was like the worst thing ever, because obviously after September 11, which is everybody believes that what happened because of some people from the Middle East did it, it was very hard to get the sport over there, which is like a big community over in the whole world.
This just in, you were looking at obviously a very disturbing live shot there. That is the World Trade Center, and we have unconfirmed reports this morning that a plane has crashed into one of the towers of the World Trade Center.
You can see these pictures, so it's obviously something devastating is happening.
Well, I was in the past train, and there was a huge explosion sound. Everyone came out. A large section of the building is blown out.
Come directly over Manhattan. Usually they come up either over the Hudson River.
10 years ago on 9/11, I was actually right here, coming from Roosevelt Island on the tram going into Manhattan. And I haven't been on the tram in 10 years until today. It's the first time I've been there. By the time we were halfway across the bridge there on the tram, the second plane hit, and we all saw it, looking downriver towards downtown. And then we realized, you know, something was really wrong. And as soon as we got off of Manhattan, everything shut down, transportation shut down, and we were pretty much locked into Manhattan. Everybody here in New York has a story. In fact, some are much more tragic, you know, than mine. But everybody here has a direct personal connection to the events of 9/11.
September 11, when the accident happened, I was actually driving into the city. I was coming to the city to train, and my mother called me on the cell phone and told me about the news. I just turned around and went back home, you know. And it was a very sad moment, not only for New York, but for the whole United States. You know, I think for the whole world. It was a scene of stupidity ending up doing harm to everybody that was watching and everybody that was living that moment. In my town, we had a lot of kids that lost their father, that they actually were working on that day. So we were very present on that. We tried to help them in school and put things together for the families that lost their relatives. And it was something that really marked this time that I was here. Every time I think about it, it looks like it was yesterday, you know. I never realized that went by so many years already.
The country like 4 years before September 11. Everybody was so happy to see me, like, oh, we love your country, we would love to go there. After what happened, I used to do judo, I used to fight even over here. It was kind of hard for me like to go and find someone to fight with. Everybody's like looking and curious what's gonna happen, like we all get scared. So that's affect our way of training as well. Like we don't know what to do. Like I'd rather like go and train outside and not to train in a building. You never know what's gonna happen to you. So even if that's everybody said, or the media said that we're fine right now, it's gonna be fine. But inside you, that's something that we really care. It's something like you don't wanna believe.
When the terrorist attacks happened on 9/11, I was actually in college at the time at NYIT in Long Island, and everyone's running out of the classes crying and stuff. It was just like such a huge thing. I don't think at the time I didn't know too many people in the city. Come to find out, my next door neighbor, he was actually one of the cops there. This guy Michael Mazziotti, and he was helping everybody get out of the tower. After a while, like he had a little, his little tie taking a break because like so many people after time passed. He runs across the street to actually get a pack of cigarettes, take a break, and that's when the building collapsed. So whoever said the smoker would save your life, well, I want to change to that.
Could actually see the smoke from our school. I live in Boulder, New York, in Long Island, and from there you could actually see the smoke, which was crazy. It was like surreal. You didn't really feel like it was really happening, and then you actually see it on TV, and it's like, holy smokes, we really got attacked. And it's going to be 10 years, and it still hits home just with what happened and what happened on 9/11. Just instantly, like, you want to serve the country. Instantly, I mean, I did, and because of I was in high school, and then I ended up going to college, and just my life got, on top of it. But I always wanted to serve the country. I never got to, but I have such a respect for anybody that does, especially coming from New York.
I was in disbelief. I didn't believe it. A little bit of shock, and then I was in fear. I had no idea what was going on. I thought we were under attack. It's sad. I didn't think about these people's families, so I know, good God, there's at least 3,000 families that aren't going to be together, and you look at the connections that are spread. I mean, it affected the whole country, the whole world. So, I mean, and then you see these people that are going in there to defend and protect other people's lives, and they're giving up their own lives. It's sad. It really is. Looking back even now, it's probably sadder than anything else. You see these people going up into this place trying to help their fellow Americans, and they're actually going to their graves. It's a sad thing.
The planes hit the World Trade Center. I was working at Parable Interactive, which is a .com e-commerce in California. As I was reading as things were going along, I wasn't sure what was going on. I knew that another plane had crashed. Then when the second plane had crashed, it seemed apparent to me that something big was going on. And moments later, my dad called and asked where I was, what I was doing, and he was kind of freaking out himself, as everyone was, and kind of like, maybe should we be going somewhere? So I was initially going down to the recruiter's office trying to figure out how I could get in, and the only thing that felt right was going straight to the tip of the spear. So that's why I came in as 11 Bravo under the 18 X-ray program to go right to the Special Forces. And every time that I achieved something and got closer to getting to be deployed, then subsequently finally being deployed, felt like I did it for the right reasons.
At that time, I worked for Metro North Police Department, so we probably didn't hear about it until like later on that day.
I was teaching in 2001, and it was about recess time. I taught second grade, and the kids were relaxing. The teacher came to the room and told me what happened.
It was like there's so much going on at one time that you really weren't like trying to think of anything. You were just responding to what was happening, like from moment to moment.
I volunteered EMT at the end of high school. It's part of our service projects that we did. There was a staging area in Jersey City, and it went to the ambulance squad, and everyone prepared to go to the staging area to help out. Victims coming over, just helping people get off ferries and stuff like that. Anyone was injured, we took them to local hospitals in New Jersey.
Being former military, police, and things such as that, you always had a safety being an American. Do you know what I mean? Like, you always felt comfortable here, like, people from all over the world, like, coming to America, like, you know what I mean?
And everyone coming back just couldn't believe it. It was a blank, they say it's a 1,000-yard stare. I saw a lot of that day. People that had nothing to say, no questions, not even whys. They just had blank looks on their face.
I felt good being an American, and at that time it almost felt like someone took my safety blanket away, or someone took my favorite pillow away. Like, just that comfort zone was kind of like stripped from me. You know what I mean? So it was kind of like hard to deal with for a while. It was like you were like insulted, you were hurt, you were angry. There was a lot of different like emotions going on at that time period for me.
remember going back home after that and everything seemed to be in slow motion.
I think it was really tough time. So pretty much in New York we have a lot of people come and go a lot. People coming here for business and stay for 2 years and go and come back to Brazil, going to Korea or whatever. But it's incredible how those guys, the terrorists, it always looks like they have one step over everybody. Like they always start playing something different, and it can come from everywhere. And I hope things like that, you know, not happen so often, because I have 3 kids. You know, I'm afraid about towers and banks and things like that. But I'm very afraid about schools. I'm very afraid about some. Can be anyone, right? I say, can be from any country getting into school. Because I have my 3 kids, I don't make sure my kids not suffer anything like that.
I honestly think that everything always moves. Even the bad things happen to make us better. And I honestly think we are constantly moving forward to better ourselves and to better our minds, to better our hearts, you know, to get better in general, to get stronger, and you know, and I think time is the best teacher. You know, you just mentioned it being 10 years. I think people are better now and stronger now.
I mean, myself, I came from a fire department family. My father was a career fireman. He ended up losing at least 4 friends that I know of. One of his closer friends, his name was Ron Bucco. And Ron was a fire marshal. And he was actually became kind of known after they released the fire department radio recordings, because he was one of the 2 guys that was recorded going up on the 78th floor trying to send wounded people down to set up a triage area on the 40th floor when the buildings collapsed. I know that he was in the 101st Airborne in Vietnam, and then he went on to become a member of the Special Forces, and then when he left active duty in the Army, he became a fireman. Up until the day he died, he was a fire marshal as a profession, and Army Reserves, you know, also. He was actually the first fire marshal to die in the line of duty in the New York Fire Departments.
People have to be open, and they have to believe in their leaders. Like right now, I know that our leaders doing their best of getting us safe and making us like walk in the streets like when it used to be before. So we have to believe in our leaders. We have to like make sure that we are safe, and just focus on yourself. Focus on what you want to be. So if you want to be an MMA fighter, focus on it, and don't be like looking around. Don't look behind you. Just move forward. We have a good leaders. They're leading us to a safe country. So I'm sure that that's what we need to do.
I'm grateful for their sacrifices, for everything that they've given up. It's an awesome thing. You know, it says a lot about who they are and their own upbringing and where they come from and what they believed in. So to all those that have done so, thank you very, very much. I'm grateful.